Welcome to episode 2 of Main Event Sports Bets. My name is Nick, and today we are diving deep into my futures bets, my Super Bowl, way too early Super Bowl picks. And I know what you're thinking, the Super Bowl, it is months away. I totally understand that, guys, but now is the time. Now is the time to get the most value on the teams that you did your research on. You did your research, right? Okay, so today we are going to be talking about 2 Super Bowl teams that I really like, one from each conference. And I totally understand, guys, with training camp and preseason games that there's going to be injuries that come before week 1. I totally understand that. But again, now is the best time to get your value on the teams that you like. So let's dive deep into my Super Bowl picks. Before I give you my picks, please subscribe to this channel and let me know in the comments below if you agree with these picks, you hate these picks, and some of the picks that you like for this year's Super Bowl. So here we go. My first pick for the Super Bowl of this year is going to be the Dallas Cowboys. Right now, Betway has them at 16-1 to win the Super Bowl. Now, before you start laughing at me and yelling at me, hear me out. Actually, no, let me ask you a question. What is the worst thing that could happen to your team or your franchise? I think the answer is your star quarterback gets hurt. Well, that's exactly what happened last year. Last year, Dak went down and everybody said that they won't even make the playoffs. Their season is done. Well, here comes Cooper Rush and they go 4-1 and they still make the playoffs. Now, last year, Dak had a terrible year throwing the ball away, interceptions. He had 17 interceptions despite not even being in 5 games. And they still made the playoffs. Now, we all know that Dallas defense is for real. I don't have to sit here and name all the Pro Bowlers that they're going to have this year on that defense, but I love the addition of Stephon Gilmore on the back end. Also, on the offensive side of the ball, I love Brandon Cooks being a wide receiver too, next to CeeDee Lamb. With Pollard in the backfield and Dak, he's going to have more weapons now. If he just limits his turnovers, I think this team at 16-1 can be neck and neck with the Philadelphia Eagles. Maybe they can win the division. Maybe they could finally get that playoff win. And I think they have a pretty good chance to be a Super Bowl champion with that defense. Now, if you thought my Dallas pick to win the Super Bowl was crazy, wait till you hear this pick, okay? If I have to pick somebody from the AFC, it's crazy because there's about 8 legitimate teams that I wouldn't be surprised at all if they made it or won the Super Bowl this year. But this year, who I really like is the Los Angeles Chargers. Now, before you call me crazy, I know the Chiefs, you're not going to pick the Chiefs. I love me some Chiefs. They want me some money. I appreciate that. The Bills are going to be awesome. You can go with Cincinnati. There are so many other teams in the AFC. It's stacked. And I know you can go with any of those teams, but I'm going with the Chargers. And right now you can get them at 28-1. Now, before you call me crazy, just listen. Before the preseason, 2021 season, you could have got the Bengals to win the Super Bowl at 150-1. Now, obviously, they didn't win it, but they made it to the Super Bowl, and that's where you could have hedged, right? Also, the next year, last year, the Eagles, preseason, 24-1 were the odds for them to win the Super Bowl. Again, they did not win, but that could have been a great opportunity for you to hedge. Why not the Chargers this year at 28-1? Now, history has not been kind to the Chargers, especially the last 2 years under Justin Herbert. 2 years ago, in what I consider one of the greatest games of all time, the very last game of that season was against Las Vegas, and the winner had a chance to go to the playoffs, and they lost in overtime. And then last year, of course, who can forget blowing a 27-point lead to Jacksonville. So I just think that last year, they played conservative. Okay, and don't forget they did not have Mike Williams in that game. So let's talk about this year. I think the addition of Kellen Moore as an offensive coordinator is going to be huge for this offense, especially Justin Herbert. With Keenan Allen on one side, Mike Williams on the other, if they could stay healthy, of course. Austin Eckler, he's staying, he got his money. Justin Herbert got his money as well. I think this offense is going to be amazing. I think Kellen Moore is going to open up the playbook, and this team is going to play hungry. And don't forget, this team the last couple of years has played the Chiefs very, very closely. If we can get one game on the Chiefs, it all depends on this division. Are the Broncos gonna be as bad as they were last year? I don't think so. Is Las Vegas going to be good or bad? We're not sure. But I think the Chargers are going to be hungry. They're going to be motivated because of last year. And I think it's a very good chance that they get at least one playoff game this year. And hopefully they could surprise everybody and make it to the Super Bowl. So there you have it. As you could tell, I didn't go very conservative this year, did I? Could have very easily picked the Chiefs, as I do love the Chiefs. Hard to bet against them. Bills can be awesome this year. Who knows about the 49ers, Cincinnati. So many teams you could have went with. And I know they still have the preseason games. They still have the injuries that are going to come out. And it's way too early. But guys, we can get great value on some of these teams if you like any of these teams. 28-1 for the Chargers, 16-1 for Dallas. Even just to make the playoffs would be great for me because I am going to hedge if they make the playoffs. That's just me. I didn't tell you that. But again, get good value while you can. Thank you guys for joining me. And next week we will talk about divisions, who I think will win them. And there's a pretty cool parlay you could do, parlaying some of the divisions in a round robin or traditional parlay. Stay tuned. Thank you guys for joining. Subscribe, and we'll see you next week.